Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 7. Negan is Iron Man. The following images are property of AMC as stated in the disclaimer. Warning, this will contain predictions, spoilers, a lot of debate. We have some hot topics to talk about today. We're mainly going to focus on the Iron scene and also the rules matter, but there are a lot of subplots that are going to be developed all throughout the week. We'll do some hidden clues as well too. And also, thanks for all of you for tuning in last night to the live stream. We had a lot of fun. So let's kick it off and talk about the rules matter. Once again, Negan gathered a whole group together. One of the questions last night someone asked me is, when is Daryl going to kneel? Right now, notice right behind Mark, Daryl is kneeling with the broom. Negan makes his grand entrance, and here we get the introduction to Mark. Now, we know that Mark and Amber were together prior to Amber becoming one of Negan's wives, because Negan actually gave her the opportunity to go back to Mark and said, you can go with him and be with his mother or her mother, something along those lines, but she chose his fate. Mark should have saw this coming. Evidently, he's not a comic book fan, or he would have read it in advance. He has to go through this disfiguration process, and the question I have to all of you, this job that they would have had to do, working for points, was it really worse than putting Mark in public and burning his face? Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Oh, the irony. So guess who had to warm up the iron? Of course, it's Dwight. Dwight has become Negan's personal punching bag. There were several scenes here that really irked me. One is Negan said he wouldn't have time to sleep with all his wives, and then he looked at Dwight and he said, well, maybe one. And of course, Dwight has to be the person that's warming up the iron and handing it to Negan. Throughout this, Dwight was just kind of cringing. He could not bear to watch anything, while other people could not take their eyes off of anything that Negan was doing. The rules do matter, and Negan has this public forum, and he just wants to teach everybody a lesson, and Dwight is never going to be able to get it out of his mind. So the people that couldn't turn away, very interesting here. We saw Cher goes over and actually comforts Amber. Interesting dynamic here is Cher's actually the one that admitted to Negan that Amber and Mark were having the affair. She gave Negan the confirmation. Let me know your thoughts and comments up to this point. Do you guys trust Cher? Is Cher going to help Daryl and Dwight, or is she getting sucked into that whole Negan and really falling for him? Carl cannot take his eyes off of anything. Look at the guy behind Carl. He's closing his eyes. Carl watched Glenn get beat down. He watched Abraham get beat down. I'm getting worried that Carl may actually start to like this and become that serial killer that Negan spoke about. Keep him away from small animals. Painful memories. Dwight was a focal point of this entire episode. I know it was supposed to be about Mark, but the facial expressions on Dwight were absolutely priceless. As I mentioned before, Negan has made him into a little bit of his punching bag, and throughout this, he did help him, he did assist, but he closed his eyes, he looked away. I know this is difficult for Dwight to go through this again. I'm trying to sympathize with him, but I've not quite forgiven him yet, probably because of the way he's treating Rosita. Here it is, Mark for life, the money shot. Turn away now. Too late. If you want to see the special effects of this, go into AMC.com. They had a really neat thing where they were pulling his face and they showed the glue to his face. Interesting stuff here. Mark was practicing for this in his apartment. Said the neighbors thought he was a real psychopath, but Mark passed out in the actual scene here from the iron. A lot of stuff for him to go through. And then what does Negan do? It's not enough for him just to burn and scar him. More mocking from Negan. He actually goes after his manhood. He says he passed out, and he says he pissed himself. So making it more into a public spectacle, pointing out that Mark can't take the pain, and just instilling fear throughout everybody to make sure that nobody else steps up and challenges Negan's authority. And Negan approaches Daryl. There's a very casual whisper for cleanup, but everyone knows why Daryl's there with the mop. Daryl does what he's told. He's becoming a team player. Let me know what you think about Daryl's newfound faked loyalty. On the topic of loyalty, Negan is certainly losing his control all throughout this episode. You could just read it on everyone's face. No one wanted Mark to get the iron. They're all starting to lose faith in Negan, and I think this is where the revolt is gradually going to matriculate through everything. Even when the doctor comes over, look at the look on the doctor's face. I mean, yes, he does have future employment as long as Negan is around, but it's probably getting a little bit old having to fix the same old issues over and over again. And on the topic of revolt, I don't think this next image can be overlooked. Here's Dwight making eye contact with Cher. The whole time he's looking away, and you see this POV once again. The look on Dwight's face here says he's ready to do something a little bit different. We will debate and talk about who left the key for Daryl, whether it was Jesus, whether it was Dwight, whether Cher. I think there's a lot of things that could happen with this, but this scene was really amazing to me. It showed the torture, it shows a little bit of the revolt, and if there's one part throughout the season so far, I think this is where we're going to start to see the group start to rise up and actually grow some balls and stand up to Negan a little bit more. It could have been Jesus to help Daryl break out. It could have been Sherry to help Daryl break out. But I got a feeling Dwight and Daryl are going to come face to face, and Dwight's going to look the other way and actually help Daryl. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments below. My name is Killshot. Give this video a thumbs up. Look for more videos very soon. And you guys get involved in the live stream. We're creating just an amazing group of people and an awesome forum. Thanks again. Peace.